Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Rise and shine, wake up. Have a very good morning to all of you watching this video. How are you all? I hope you all will be doing fabulous, taking good care of yourselves, your studies, and your health as well. Dear students, today we have to start our next chapter that is lesson number 9 on our book Understand and Communicate, book 1. And this is Life in the Country. This chapter is on page number 53, and kindly all of you open your book so that we may start the reading of this chapter. This chapter is taken from the Highway by Patrick Mackay. In this chapter, writer tells Kim and his sister Julie lived with their mother and father on the hillside of a beautiful valley. Their father was a farmer, and the family lived in a little farmhouse. The farmhouse clung to the steep hillside above a small village in the bottom of the valley. On the farm, they had a few sheep and cows, and there was a small orchard and two cornfields. Do you know about the orchard? Orchards are the small gardens. They were not a rich family. Life was difficult for them. They grew good corn and fruit and vegetables, and they raised good sheep and cows. But their father had to take his produce to a small town, and this town was 2 hours' journey away to sell it. He did not always get a very good price for his fruits, vegetables, corn, and milk in this small town. He often used to say, I wish I could sell my produce in a big city where I could get a better price. But the nearest big cities were 3 days' journey away in the south. There was no railway and the mountain roads were very bad. Kim and Julie loved the countryside round their home. They often used to sit on the mountain beside the little farm and look at the winding river that flowed through the valley, and at the beautiful old stone bridge that crossed over it to the wild tangle of forest and cliffs on the other side. They used to walk for hours up and down the hills along the rough country tracks and paths. For there were no real roads. They liked to collect wild berries and to take them home to their mother, who cooked them. Sometimes they used to cross the old stone bridge on the other side of the river, where there were caves to explore and trees to climb. Sometimes they played for hours in the forest on the other side of the river. There were there was no town there. There were no houses at all. That side of the valley was wild and untamed. Nothing lived there except birds and small wild animals. The village was always very quiet. The people who lived there were busy working in their fields during the day, and they went to the bed early at night, tired after a long day's hard work. Nearly all of them were farmers. All of them had lived in the village for all of their life and had never left the village for more than one day at a time. On these days, when they left their village, they got up early in the morning to visit the town. They brushed and harnessed their horses and filled their carts and lorries with fruits and vegetables and sheep and churns of milk. And then they went to the market in town beyond their valley, over the steep hills. They came back in the evening without the fruits and vegetables, the sheep and milk, but with some money and perhaps a present for their children. That was their life, hard and simple, but not unhappy. So, dear students, this lesson shows the village life, which is always simple and hard, but happy. It is the story of a village. This village is situated on a steep hillside. Kim and his sister lived in the village with their parents. Kim's father was a farmer. He had to plough fields and tend the cattle. Often he went to a small town at 2 hours' journey away to sell his produce. His produce contained good corn, fresh fruits, vegetables, and milks. He could not earn good money by selling his produce in the small town. He often wished to sell his produce in a big city, but the nearest big cities required 3 days' journey. Kim and his sister often used to play on the hillside. They often crossed the old stone bridge and went to the forest. A large number of birds and small wild animals lived in the forest. They played there and collected wild berries. All the villagers led a hard life. They worked in the fields and looked after their cattle. They journeyed to the town to sell their objects. They returned with some gifts for their children. They went to bed early at night. So this was the simple life of that village people. They all were hardworking, but they were not unhappy with their lives. They were very happy. They lived together and they enjoyed their life together. So, this is our today's chapter, and this is a indeed very interesting chapter. And now, girls, you have to study, you have to read this chapter twice so that you may better understand this chapter. You have to underline the difficult words and you have to learn the spellings of these words, and you have to write at least 15 words in your notebooks. Okay, that is what you have to do today. Read the chapter twice, and if you find any difficulty, you may ask me. Okay, I am here to assist you.